Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. We've got gaming news. Phil Reed has stepped down as CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Steve Jackson Games. By the way, he stepped down, he's not stepping out. I will read to you what Phil posted. After over 15 straight years in various leadership roles at Steve Jackson Games, I have officially stepped down as the company's CEO. The last few years have been incredibly challenging, both physically and mentally. I've decided to focus on reducing my stress and anxiety. What brings me the most joy these days is my personal projects. By the way, I had a discussion with Steve at Game Hall, I believe it was 2019. It could have been 2018, but I'm pretty sure it's 2019. And we were talking about Steve's Kickstarter projects, his crowdfunding projects that he was doing on the side. And, I was discussing how, to live on a fixed income. My pension's not bad, not saying it is. But when you work in most work environments, you have the opportunity to find ways to make extra money. Uh, Not really much of an option for me. So we discuss some of those challenges and the idea that if you step away from regular employment, especially if you're doing what he was doing, you have to make sure you're doing constant projects. And it wasn't something that he was looking at immediately, but we had a good Phil and I had a good discussion about it, and I always thought at some point his Kickstarters have been so successful as clockwork. I don't find this surprising. I actually find this, it makes me very happy for Phil. So it's a well deserved change. But like I said, he's stepping down as CEO. He's not stepping out on Steve Jackson Games. We'll go on to that. I also find that the times I invest in writing and creating for myself lead to better days than those weeks when the majority of my attention goes to managing the business or corralling the creative efforts of others. I can certainly see that. Although I consider it a complete separation from the company, my sense of responsibility for the business, especially the team, is far too great to walk away. And that is a simple truth, especially if you feel invested in a place where you work. And this even went to Rach when she downsized her hours before deciding to retire. There is, if you've been doing something, I did what I did for 20 years. If you've been doing something for 15 years, stepping away is hard. It's like ripping off that Band-Aid. That Band-Aid has been on your wrist for the last 20 years, and it's scabbed up and all the other wonderful crap. I think Steve's doing Phil is making a very good decision with his downsizing at Steve Jackson Games. Personally, I think it's brilliant. I didn't want to leave everyone to puzzle this out for themselves. Instead, I've cut my hours dramatically. Most weeks, I'll be working half the number of hours that I used to. I will be spearheading the company's crowdfunding efforts, something that Phil has down to a T, and helping with art direction, both jobs I've done before and enjoyed. I hope to be an asset to the company's new CEO. We'll get to that in a second. Or a minute. This was a decision made several months ago, but I didn't want to leave the business without direction. I helped Steve explore multiple options. He has selected a new CEO, someone I recommended. It means a lot to me that Steve was willing to consider my suggestion, and my goal is to do everything I can to help her succeed. After all, her success means that the many long, painful hours I've invested in the company were not for nothing. I'm scaling back not only office hours, but also business trips for Steve Jackson Games. At the moment, I'll be attending the Gamma show in Reno, and that's it. I may or may not travel to other shows. That will depend on what is needed and how much I want to take the time for conventions. I'd much rather be creating. I wish Meredith and the team luck. I will always do my best to answer any questions that she or Steve Jackson Games staff may have. So now, who is Meredith? Well, this is Meredith, new CEO for Steve Jackson Games, and this was put up earlier today. After almost a decade at the helm, steering us through the choppy waters and growing the company dramatically, Phil Reed is taking a well-deserved rest from his CEO position. He will continue to lead our crowdfunding effort, act as art director, and serve as a member of our senior staff and board of directors. But he'll be doing this on fewer hours a week, devoting more energy to his health and personal work while still being available to his successor to answer questions. Please join me in welcoming Meredith Placko as our new Chief Executive Officer. Meredith is no stranger to the tabletop game business. She joins us from Turbo Dork, the acrylic paint company known for its bright metallic and turbo shifting hues. Her leadership has helped grow TD into a favorite of many painters across the globe. She has brought new and innovative ideas to the hobby, while successfully managing a collective of creatives who know no bounds. With that experience, she is well prepared to step into her role at Steve Jackson Games. My excitement at joining the team at Steve Jackson Games is something I cannot express in words, says Meredith. Mostly dinosaur-esque screeching noises. I hope to earn your trust in the months going forward as we keep on making the games everyone loves. And it goes into a bit more of her background. And then Steve notes, I should also note that Meredith is not leaving Turbo Dork in the lurch. She will continue her duties there as well. She is mighty, she can do it. And we are not acquiring Turbo Dork. I say this to nip rumors in the bud. The companies remain independent, just better friends than before, if such a thing is possible. Please send both Meredith and Phil your best wishes as we open a new chapter at Steve Jackson Games. So, this is a view of the Turbo Dork website. And I guess the sample colors that they provide. Those are pretty bright colors. I works well for sci-fi, probably less so in my opinion for fantasy, but your mileage may vary. So that's the news from today. I wish Phil a shit ton of luck. I mean, really, well deserved. Can only move forward and move on up. So Phil, congrats, Meredith. Good luck in your new position. Steve Jackson Games has been around forever, and they've been doing good work forever. So I expect, hopefully, pretty much more of the same. Folks, on that note, Wednesday, we have a live stream. We have a special guest. I need to remind my special guest that they're my special guest. Crap. Oh, we won't have a special guest if I don't remind them. That's Wednesday at 8. Pretty cool special guest, too. And then should be a live stream on Friday. Folks, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, roll them well. I'll be back tomorrow with some more random shite or news or whatnot. We'll see. All right, folks.